Hello, everyone. This is our pitch three, our MindSync screen time app. I am Ryder, and there will also be with us today is Reagan, Mason, and Michael. So we'll get started. So the nature of the problem that is presented that our app is trying to help um, people who struggle to keep digital device use in healthy balance with real world goals. Some examples here are excessive screen time, which equals to lower productivity, poor sleep, stress, and academic decline. The next one here is persistent push notifications, fragment, fragmented attention, heightened anxiety, less time and deep focus flow states. The last one here is social media comparison cycles, lower self esteem, increased loneliness, depressive symptoms, and body image concerns. On to the next slide is market segments on which our MindSync um, is trying to help and focus on. So the first one here is students between 13 and 25, the age between the age 13 and 25. You know, they're always staying up late, not getting good sleep, and they also struggle with the comparison. And all these things may prevent them from the grades they want or the relationships that they want. The next one here is knowledge workers and remote teams. You know, always on their emails and always on messages, just reading through, which may not allow them to get the work that they need to get done for their job. The third one here is parents of school age kids. You know, as a parent today's world, you're always worried about who they're connected with online. Are they talking to the people they should be talking to? Are they watching or listening to the videos that they should be doing that kind of stuff? It's very dangerous, and you parents of these school age kids are very concerned and worried, in which they should be. The next one is health and fitness enthusiast. Always trying to create new content, comparing themselves to other creators, which can be, very challenging and depressing. If they're not getting the followers or likes or views that they want. Um, so the next one is just your everyday person, um, just looking for something, maybe bring them more happiness or, more free time, just trying to look a way out from, just trying to get a breather from their phone or technology or their workplace or whatever that might be. So current solutions for these market segments. Number one is the built-in OS tools, screen time, which is the picture presented here. The next one is personal focus app. An example of that is Freedom. The third one is parental control suits. Example of that is Kids 360. The fourth one here is workplace productivity trackers. Example of that is Rescue Time. So that is all I have for you today. I will be passing on to Reagan now, who will dig deeper into our market segment and our channels. Thank you.
Technology addiction is one of the most overlooked mental wellness challenges today. People often fall into passive scrolling loops, zoning out instead of tuning in. MindSync solves this by using AI to detect those exact moments when usage becomes unproductive or overstimulating, and interrupts them with calming, personalized interventions. These include ambient visuals, guided breathing, and short reminders that help users refocus. Unlike other apps like Opal that rely on fixed timers or total app blocking, MindSync responds intelligently and in real time. It doesn't shame users or lock them out, it gently guides them to reset. This makes the experience smoother, more personal, and ultimately more sustainable for long-term behavior change. Our unique value proposition is this. MindSync is the only screensaver that knows when your brain needs a break. It doesn't just protect your screen time, it protects your peace of mind. We're building MindSync not just as an app, but as part of a lifestyle movement towards digital wellness. To reach our users, we'll leverage the same platforms that fuel tech addiction. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. But we're going to flip the script. Our marketing will focus on simple, relatable content like how to stop doom scrolling, or what your brain looks like after 3 hours of TikTok. We'll also optimize for search terms like digital detox, screen time help, and focus tools in the app stores. Partnership with wellness influencers, mental health creators, and even schools or college programs will help expand our reach organically. To build community, we'll use referral rewards, social sharing challenges like MindSync Mornings, and eventually create a blog and podcast around mindful tech use. Our mission is bigger than downloads, it's to build a movement of intentional users who want to reclaim their time and energy. Our development plan is lean, scalable, and built with modern tools. We'll use Flutter to launch cross-platform, so MindSync works on both iOS and Android. The AI component will be built with TensorFlow Lite to analyze behavior patterns like excessive scrolling, late night usage, screen fatigue, and then activate the interventions. The front end will focus on simplicity and serenity with warm colors, smooth transitions, and options like soft breathing visuals or nature screens. We use Firebase or Supabase for back-end user data and basic analytics to improve customization over time. Our MVP can be built with a small team, one developer, one UI UX designer, and one product manager. From there, we'll iterate based on user feedback, eventually expanding to web integration, Apple Focus Mode support, and even workplace wellness tools. Our goal isn't to build an app that just blocks screen, but one that builds better habits.
Thank you, Reagan. Now we're going to be looking at the production of the app and how we might go about developing this product. So one way we could start off is using AI or no-code AI sources um, that can allow for us to develop a MVP model of our app and give it to either customers or to another dev team to handle like the real brute force manual labor aspect of developing the app. But the no code AI apps like Cursor, Lovable, and Replit, these are some of the ones in the industry right now that allow for non coding ability people to develop an app or website or product in general without having to know how to do any sort of coding. And it's super powerful developing like super early developments of models or apps that you have ideas. And it's super easy and it's very cheap. Next, we would move into hiring a dev team if we liked our alpha version of the app. That dev team would put in production. I mean, it can range anywhere from 50 to 100 grand for the app. It depends on how complex we want it and what they're charging. And then after that state, we move to beta testing, giving it the app to users, to like a test group, get feedback from them, how they like it, what do they not like about the app, and then finally, once we get all that feedback, we're going to launch the app, listening to the changes needed, and always being willing to pivot along the way from what we have developed so far. Here's a quick mock-up I used using AI to kind of get like an image of what the app could look like, and that's how quick AI has allowed us to make some mock-ups. And this could just be like a launch point for us to develop further and really understand what we really want out of the app. The marketing aspect of the app, Ryder has already talked about how we are going to be marketing towards certain groups, and I think our probably best bet is going to be the young teens and maybe some upper adults. And this is going to be really for those who are struggling with focus and staying attentive in whatever aspect of life that may be, whether that's school or work. Um, and we're going to be really pushing for that demographic. And some ways we could be doing that is through Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Meet them. We're going to try to meet them in their struggle, because the best way to find people who are struggling with social media addiction is to find them in social media, because they're not going to realize they have an issue outside of social media unless they're in it and they'll be like, oh, I'm really struggling with this as they're on the app. And then we can have our ads run on there, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, Meta ads. Um, you also could be doing email marketing once you get the potential users on your list. Keep on putting out emails to try to get these people to come back. And then also reach out to maybe some mental health influencers, some people that are trying to promote well-being, and kind of the push right now for kind of biohacking your life. And I think that that'd be a good group to kind of focus on with the mental influencers, because they have a big reach and our app would be right on par with what they're trying to like push for their audience. And our revenue model. Our revenue model currently, we're looking at a freemium model. So we're going to offer the basic features for all users for free. Obviously, you have to sign up with an email, and we can still put them on an email list to market to them further to push the paid version. But the paid users will get access to more in-depth data, the pattern recognition, and maybe some more helpful lockdown features in the app that the free users might not be able to get. Now I'm going to pass it off to Michael, who will talk about the rest.
Good evening. My name is Michael Riley, and today we're talking about the app MindSync. So what we're looking at here is the key expenses category. The first expense that MindSync is going to have to really dive into is our premium feature development. Basically, what that entails for us is that we're going to have to focus in on what the buyers want. We're going to provide a premium feature with a premium subscription. And what we will do with that information is we will try to figure out what they don't and what they do want into our subscription. And so MindSync can be a better operating system overall. And so there will be a premium feature and then a classic feature or a regular feature that a non-subscription based service will have. But the premium feature will have add-ons and special features that the regular subscription would never have. The next key expense we're going to have is the app development and ongoing maintenance. What that pretty much entails is that goes right back into the premium feature, where the things that we don't want and things that we do want from our customers, and we're going to use that data in order to have our coders have a ongoing development and to change things and update things better to our subscribers' liking. But this takes a lot of money and time from our coders on their behalf. And the last thing we're going to look at is our data security and private compliance. Basically, MindSeek monitors app uses and collects that behavioral data. And so what we need to do is we need to have a secure cloud storage. And so that costs a lot of money to do that and for it to have that storage space in itself. And those are the three main things that we need to have for a key expense category. The second thing we're talking about is MindSync Foundation Startup. So basically, we plan to seek funding from private grant organizations. And this basically means we will seek organizations, for example, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, which support the younger generations in mental health. Our app is strongly pushing towards mental health and the positive effects that we need, and showing the negative effects it can have on you by them devices and using it in the wrong ways. Our app pushes mental health and to make the younger generation want to explore different ways to better themselves. We also will approach foundations um, focused on youth and empowerment and productivity. So what this basically means, MindSync aligns with the goals of helping the younger generation thrive at all costs. And so we're looking to find organizations that can help uplift us, not just with funding, but also in different aspects. And that goes back to the slide beforehand, with maybe even providing us with different types of um, things in terms of cloud storage based funding. The last thing we're looking at is statistical analysis and early traction confirm strong demand. So what that means is we already have a premium subscription service that our app uses, and that means we already have a large funding um, that goes into it. And so you can see as they fund us, or now seeing the results of that, because we already have people that are willing to spend money on our app as it is. So we are not fearful that our app is going to go away at any certain time. Now, moving on to the last one, it is potential barriers to success. Yes, we will have barriers to our success, but that does not stop us. One of our things is securing initial funding. Now, a big thing that we talked about beforehand is initial funding will come from the fact that we already have a lot of premium subscribers to our app. But the problem is that this might not raise a lot of and motivation to give us funding in the very beginning. And so that is our biggest factor and motivator, that we already have people subscribing to our premium subscription without having any other prior notice of what the apps can really do. The second one is addressing user privacy concerns. Yes, since MindSync can track all of your apps and see what you're on and what you're not on, it can lead to a lot of problems in this modern day and age in terms of privacy concerns and what the app can and cannot see, and what if people have scares of maybe we will sell their data or anything like that. Even though that's not the case at all, it could happen where people have these thoughts or concerns. Um, and the last two are kind of intertwined to each other, standing out in a crowded market and protecting our unique ideas. So you might be thinking to yourself, how do those two things play hand in hand? The problem we have here is there's similar apps to us. They're not exactly like us, but there's similar apps to us that do similar things. But our app is very, very strict in how we motivate the younger generation to stay their screen time to stay at a certain length and to really track that. While we also want to protect our unique ideas, we have unique ideas that we want to make sure that no other companies can use off of us, so their app can be just like ours. Those two things are the biggest things that go hand in hand. There can be barriers to our success, but there's definitely ways to get around that.